I did it again. I built a couch from scratch. Guess what? I saved $2,000. Hello, my awesome DIY army. Today we are finally gonna tackle the Pacha lounge chair. This piece has been requested over and over again. And finally, I got my brain into it and figured out how to make it happen. The original piece goes on the market between $2,500 to $3,000 depending what material you choose to make it. And I already bought the entire material and I'm pretty sure we can do it for $200. Like always, we're not going to use any sort of industrial, technological, super expensive equipment to make this tutorial happen. So let's get started. What we need to start this tutorial is foam. This one is thick 10 centimeters and we're going to repeatedly use it one on top of the other. Take out your ruler and start marking 66 centimeters long. 2 meters, so divided by 3 is 66.6, and instead the depth is going to be 75. After that, let's cut it all out. You're going to have to do 2 deep cuts in order to cut it in pieces, and here you go. I normally like to start with the base of the couch and then make the back, but in this case, the back of the armchair has like a slight incline to the outside. So I thought that the best thing would be to start with the back and cut the bottom diagonally so that it's gonna keep that curve before passing to do the base. That's what we're doing with this sandwich. Open your windows, wear a mask, and let's go with the spraying. You have to do it on both sides that you want to stick on each other and then wait something like 20-30 seconds. You can also practice your jump and tap in the meanwhile. It didn't really work out and this was a good one. Put something heavy on top and let's pass to the next layer. We're gonna spray again both sides. Let it wait a few seconds. You can use this moment to make exercise for your glutes. So let me try to explain my incredible theory. I want the back to be bending to the outside like this. So if I want this structure to be like this, I'm gonna have to go and cut this distance on this side so that it's gonna stay like this. I measured it, it's around 10 centimeters, so I'm gonna mark here 10, draw a line like this, cut it diagonal so that this is gonna become the base straight and the back diagonal. Let me show you how it's done. 10 centimeters on each side, we draw the line in diagonal, connect the 2 parts on the top, and then we cut it all out. It's 3 blocks, so you can cut a little piece at a time. It's gonna be easier. The importance is that at the end, it works. Yes! Okay, now that we have finally the diagonal shape of the back, we have to make also the roundness on the top. So we're simply gonna go and mark with a marker, create the shape on the top. The bottom is gonna be basically identical. We don't have to do a lot, but it's here that we have to shape it very well. So put your elbow in the middle, I would say, and then use it to shape it like this. Take out your precision knife once again and cut out all the parts that are external to your circle. You are going to have to shape this a lot better after. This is just the guiding lines. We have to go and make it as round as possible, but always keep in mind that actually on the front of the chair at 30 centimeters of height we are going to put the seating. So that part, do not shape it out, otherwise they're not going to match anymore. And after that, cut it all. I'm absolutely aware this is not perfect, but that's not what we're trying to do. We just have to create more or less the shape so that we can guide ourselves through the sitting part that we're gonna build now. Even this one is gonna need to be with a diagonal cut so that it can fit exactly here. So all the bottom parts are gonna be like 40, 45, 50 growing so that then we can cut it in diagonal, match it over here, and make it work. So keep the same height as the back of your chair, 75, but instead the depth is going to be 45, 50, 55, as I told you before. Cut it all out, and as you can see, once you place them on top, you're going to have this little step that is going to be cutting away once we make the diagonal. Glue them all together like we always do, spray it on both sides, wait a little bit, and then glue them back together. We're going to have to put something heavy on top again, and then spray the third. Waiting. Are you guys ready to cut the diagonal? Let's do the same process again. And here we go. We have 2 diagonals. As you can see, they match. This is freaking awesome. And we are gonna have to find a way to glue it and put a weight on top. I don't know how to do that, but we're gonna figure it out. I'm excited. I have to put something heavy here. I think that I will be the heavy thing. I almost forgot. We have to do the same thing that we did on the top, also on the bottom. So go with your elbow and make the circle on the bottom. Let's use the elbow hack once again. We draw our circle, cut it all out, and now finally the two pieces are connected so we can go and invest our time in shaping it perfectly. Also the two parts that connect the seating with the back of your chair. Invest your time in making it as round as possible, and don't forget that in the middle there's an indentation that goes inside. It's gonna make the shape more similar. Okay guys, the chair is basically done, and I think this is the easiest couch I've done after today. It's not even that hard. It was just a lot of carving, but I think like 3 hours I've been working on it. Anyway, let's pass to the scary part, at least for me, and I'm gonna watch the picture over here while I put it there for you, and let's go through the sewing steps that I hate so much. It looks to me like it's 4 pieces of material, so we have one on the top and one on the bottom. That's why we have here the sewing, and also for the back of the chair it's 2 sewings, but the one of the back overlaps a little bit the front, so to pull the material, keep the back even more in shape so it's not gonna fall backwards. It's very stable, and at the end we're gonna staple everything under. We're doing 2 layers of wood, one to keep the fabric in place and one to make the legs. Let's go. We are basically gonna draw the fabric directly on top of the couch. We do not have something else to follow, so we just place it backwards on the couch, and then you try to cut out the extra material only after pinning one side to the other. In this way, but always leave some extra centimeters, this was a mistake that I did, you are just gonna be pinning them and drawing it on the couch itself. As you see, I cut out the extra parts. For the bottom, I just got one straight line, folded it in half, and the half center of that line, I placed it on the middle of the couch, pinned it all around again, and finally I have the drawing to follow. Remember that on the side we need a diagonal, so I cut it that one more diagonally. So what happens now is that we created the stencil to make as many couches as we want. So if you want to repeat this 2-3 times, for example, if you want one next to the other one, you just use the shape that you made of the fabric, place it many times, and you have already the perfect measurements for every couch that you want to do. If you're doing only one, I'm sorry to tell you, but you need to do the process anyway. So we're gonna take this off, go place it on top of the internal really thin foam that we're using, and we're gonna sew them together and then stitch it back on the couch. Yep, unfortunately we cannot skip this step, so we're gonna have to take it out, then trace it on the foam, and we're gonna have 2 identical pieces. Only after that you have both of them pretty similar or identical, you put them together, stitch one on the other, and then put it again back on your chair. So if you're wondering why did I pin it before, it's because in that way I could cut out the shape, while now instead I'm pinning it to give the guidelines to make the sewings. It's 2 different goals, let's say. We go and sew it, we have now the bottom of the seating, and we're gonna do the same identical thing also for the back of the chair. Go ahead, pin it all around, have some extra centimeters popping out. It looks almost like a snowball. This is so cool. Actually, maybe I should have left it upside down, the material. Would it look cool? I don't know, leave it in the comments. Anyway, then you pin it all and you go and sew it, and finally we just need to make the connection. Last teeny bit of sewing, and then guys, we can take the sewing machine away. What we have to do is match the top with the bottom. So if you see, we had this weird shape of the middle, and these are the 2, I'll show it better like this. What is this shape, you're probably wondering? Well, when we placed the material on top of the chair and we cut it out with a shape, we went also inside the indentation that we made before. So the material comes out with 2 little ears that point up to the outside. Those are the 2 that are connecting the back and the front. You pin them together, sew them in, and basically the entire connection is done. You sew it as straight as possible. No, I'm not a good sewer. It didn't come out so straight, and I'm aware you guys put more patience and do a better job than I did. I believe in you. Then flip it all around, swip it inside out, and you just go and put the dress on your couch. Use some patience and strength to put all the round edges on the chair. This is looking so cool! It already looks amazing. I'm so excited about it. But before we go and connect all the bottoms to this really thin piece of wood, it's important to add the two folds that this couch has in the middle. So the shape that we did before, we now have to go with a super long needle and put these two corners inside. Oh yeah, those little corners are basically the protagonist of this entire couch. We're gonna take now a metallic thread, cable, I don't know the word right now, anyway, and pass it through the couch from one side to the other. On the top part where we see the corner, we're gonna pass the needle from the inside so that the knot and the stitches stay only on the inside of the little ear of the fabric. Then we're gonna fold and make a little hook with our metal thread and cut away the needle and make a knot on that metal thread so that then we can pull it from the back of the couch, and it's gonna catch all the material inside and pull it inside the indentation that we cut out before. We do it also with the second part, so with the right side, put it inside, make a little stitch on the fabric and pull it from the back. You see how it catches it? It's so cool. On the other side, we're now gonna have to put two buttons. These buttons are gonna be pulled as strong as possible and are gonna secure our fabric in shape for the entire life of this couch. Make a lot of knots to be sure that this is never gonna open again. Time for the legs. The entire legs are actually one big circle, and I'm gonna show you how to create one perfect circle. You can totally order this if you don't have a jigsaw, and it's just gonna cost you a little bit more, but if you're trying to save some money, that's how you do it. First of all, you find the middle. Find the middle of your square, then tie a marker to a thread and use the center to make the entire circle. Cut out all the extra edges, and please guys, it's important to do a little sexy dance before your father, your boyfriend, your mother, your grandparents come back home and find out the mess that you made around the apartment. Let's clean it up. And now, like always, staple marathon. I decided to divide the work in two sections because it made me feel more secure. So first I stapled inside all the foam, and only after I went and stapled inside all the material and secured it as round and with less folds as possible. It's gonna require a bit of effort and a lot of patience. Just go with it, staple it, staple it, staple it, staple it, staple it, staple it, and arrive then to the corner that is the trickiest part. As you can see here, the fabric stayed open. The reason is that this one is the back material that instead of being sewn will be stuck to the bottom of the couch. So you see, these are the diagonals that you have to create. So staple with strength, pulling the back towards the middle, and that's gonna keep your couch safe and secured. Again, go ahead and staple as much as you can. You want this secured, you don't want to open it again, and only after that your arm looks like the one of Popeye you can stop. Don't tell me that this is not a workout. Last little step and we're done. You have to sand away the corners of the circle of the leg that we did before, and then go and add 4 holes, more or less in the shape of a square in the middle. You don't have to be so precise. It's just important this can be screwed to the bottom of the couch. Take away your weapons and now start spray painting it in the color that you prefer. It can be black, it can be gold, you can choose your own. The original one has both the versions, and then put it on top of your couch. Actually, it's the bottom, but it's upside down. So it's the top. Okay, go and screw inside 4 of your screws that are gonna catch the wood that we had before stapled to the fabric, and that's why it stays all in shape. Guys, we're done. Okay, the lounge chair is done, and it's so pretty. I'm so excited and I want to show it to you, but before doing that, don't forget to subscribe because so many more awesome episodes are coming out. Don't forget to leave me your comments with what you want me to try next, and let's talk about the things I would have done differently. So first and only real problem has been that I was a little bit too stingy with the material. It means that I cut it out exactly 1 centimeter more than what I needed, thinking this would make it tighter. But the best thing is if you leave a little bit extra centimeters, and then if you have any error, you can use that instead of having to pull the material that is gonna make a lot of folds. This little connection corner has been a nightmare. I literally had like 1 millimeter extra material to pull it inside. It would have been so much easier and so much smoother if I had like 2-3 extra centimeters to pull it inside without having to torture myself. So now, are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Bye.